One of the things that we were discussing, that we've been discussing a lot over the past year and a half or so, is the importance of security and prevention of criminal activity in our nation's schools. And for all of the talk about sense and everything else, there's really only a few people that are really pushing this and getting results. And one of those people is a good friend of mine, Andy Pollack, whose daughter, Meadow, was one of those who was lost at Parkland when that awful, heinous tragedy took place. And since her loss, Andy has been going around the country and has really been raising awareness. First off, I don't think people would know anything about the Promise program and all of the stuff that went into that if it wasn't for Andy Pollack and his book, Why Meadow Died, which you have to read because there's nothing else out there that is more comprehensive on exactly what broke down in Parkland, and also how these policies are in effect in your children's schools, and you probably don't even know it. But his new organization, School Safety Grant, is all about making sure this never happens again. And it is so incredibly well organized. And I think that I've been looking at it and I was talking to some folks, and I think honestly, Andy has thought of absolutely everything with us. And he joins us now via phone to give us, to tell us about it, and to also how we can get this in our kids' schools. Andy, good to talk with you. God bless you, my friend.
Hey, Dana. Good to be on today and be with you, and always appreciate your support, yours and Chris's.
Yes, well, and we appreciate everything and your friendship and everything that you have been doing. This is amazing. The school safety grant. It's schoolsafetygrant.org. That's the website, and you have every single thing, every approach to security and prevention, whether it is from the administrative side educationally, whether it's from law enforcement, or if you are a student or a teacher or a parent. And there are grants involved, and it's all designed to make schools safer than they are, and really close any actual existing loopholes in security plans. You've been working on this for a while.
For 2 years, I've been working on it, not just with this company. I've been vetting everybody and to see what I could actually get behind and believe in, from people trying to have me get behind sponsoring bulletproof boards and, bulletproof windows, metal detectors, metal detectors, turnstiles, bulletproof walls. Everybody and their mother has been reaching out for me for 2 years to try and get behind a product that would make a difference. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't get behind any of those products until I met with Intralogic, and they told me about their software and how I know what happened to my daughter in that school, and how the response time was horrible, how none of the first responders knew what was going on in the building, how my daughter laid on the floor for over 40 minutes without anyone going into the building. This takes all that away, Dana. It gives the police the ability to be connected to a school, and it doesn't stop with schools, churches, temples, within 5 to 10 seconds. And what's incredible is, so in the command center at the police department, we're going to launch the first police department is Coral Springs PD, the department that rushed the building that day. They got the first grant. So they'll have their command center, and they could get a call from a school, and the school automatically will pop up in their command center with a map of the whole school, show every camera, give the department access to their intercom. So within 5 seconds, they could be talking to the shooter or the staff over the intercom system from the command center, and it gives them access to any door locking mechanisms.
Wow.
So say they can't get into a door because a lot of these schools, the door's locked. They could hit a button, send the first responders to the east side of the building, hit the button, and send them into the building.
This is brilliant.
Second save lives, and it has, anyone out there, Democrats, Republicans, it has nothing to do with gun control. It has everything to do with keeping our kids and staff safer and cutting response time down. And that's why I got behind it. And the biggest thing is we're going to give it to police departments through a grant system. So if their budget, everything was budget. When you talk to school districts and sheriff's departments, they don't have the money. Well, here we're going to grant you this software so you could reduce your response time by minutes.
That's amazing. And apparently, as I was reading about this, they got a patent on their the technology to do this because it's there's nothing like this that is out there. I
Nothing
mean,
like it.
and as you said, seconds matter. Seconds matter, and this allows
Yeah.
them to
And
go ahead.
what's pretty cool is they can interface any camera. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It doesn't have to be their system, so we don't have to sell them any hardware. We could connect, remotely, and give them access in 5 to 10 seconds. And
yeah,
it doesn't stop with just schools. It could be at a temple. I got a grant for my temple in Coral Springs, the first temple to have this type of software, probably in the country, will be in Coral Springs also, where they'll be linked up, controlling their door mechanisms, intercom system, and all the cameras inside the temple.
that is fantastic, and it's so unbelievably needed. Houses of worship have been sadly and awfully routinely targeted, but particularly temples. I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semitic violence that we've been seeing making headlines, which feels like we're going backwards in time, and people need to be able not just to protect themselves, but you want to know that one of the public places that you're going to, whether wherever you worship, that they have the ability to, because it's not just security, it's all about prevention and it's all about spotting it, even if it's seconds before something happens. That could be the difference between life and death. Now, how many, because obviously, with Parkland and then with your temple, what kind of response have you gotten to this? Because I would imagine it's been, just considering the grant system and the technology that is involved, you have a way to go through this process at schoolsafetygrant.org. But how many entities have you heard from so far?
Oh, well, I'm holding back because I want Coral Springs to be like they're going to get highlight at the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
But we already have like other departments in Florida, and also what I wanted to tell you. So we have a committee that approves the grants, and to me it was important. I included families from the other shootings. Like the substitute teacher, Rice,
Yes.
Flo Rice, is on
Yes.
the committee. She got shot in Santa Fe, and Scott. They're going to be on the committee. I have a parent, Scarlett Lewis from Sandy Hook. I
Yes.
have a Columbine survivor from Colorado, a superintendent from Indiana. So it meant a lot to me to get people that were passionate and were in it. They have skin in the game. They lost someone. They got shot. They really want to make a difference. So I included them in my program to give them something, that they felt positive about, that we're making a difference. So that meant a lot to me. And we just really, this is going to be our first month that we're launching. And it's something that's going to make a difference, because seconds save lives, as we saw when they took that shooter out at the church
Yeah.
in Texas, right? Where was that? In Texas, right?
Yes. Yeah. White
The
settlement in
shooting.
Texas.
Yeah, it was like seconds. So seconds count, and seconds save lives. And this is just one. Security's done in different ways, and everything you could do. There's not a fix all for everything, but the more you do, the safer your community, your students will be, your worshipers will be, and this is just one part of it.
And I think knowing that there is this sort of prevention in place and having that deterrent, that and especially considering how this grows and how many schools and public places begin implementing this and incorporating this as part of their prevention and security, that goes into it so much. I remember having a conversation on these airwaves with Stephen Williford, who was there in Sutherland Springs, and it was the first time that I had heard it. He was telling me that throughout the investigation process and looking into this murderer, he apparently had visited another church earlier that day, and they were very. They had guards there, but they also had cameras, and he was on closed circuit television, and he saw this stuff, and he was out of there in just a couple of minutes. And to realize that what these awful people, these murderers, what they would like to accomplish is going to be thwarted. That is such a huge deterrent. There's a lot of data there, but this is such an unbelievable deterrent, and which is part of the prevention. I mean, right there, you let people know, look, you're protected. We got eyes everywhere. When you come here, you don't have to worry about this.
Yep, and it is a deterrent, because it just shows you that they're going to go to an easy target, because these people are sick, and they're cowards, And this they want to just pick on people that aren't going to fight back, and
Yeah.
there's no security in place.
Right.
And this is a deterrent, just like these no gun zones that we're trying to do away with. And in my temple, my rabbi's unbelievable. I love the guy. We've been friends for a long time. He has his concealed carry. And,
That's awesome.
And I made him get it. I said, Rabbi, I go, you're not going to be my rabbi and not carry a temple because you owe it to your congregation to keep them safe.
Right.
And you have to go get your concealed carry license. And within a few months, he went and got it. And he's probably going to put signs at his temple that this congregation carries. And you're going to be met with deadly force. And that's just another deterrent because I put it on him. I put the guilt on him. Dan. I go, listen, Rabbi, you have these people coming. You're the sheepdog of the temple.
Yeah.
You're there to protect these people, and you owe it to them for them to be safe. And he goes, Andy, you're right. And he went and got his permit. And, I won't go to a temple if there's not security or I can't carry.
Right.
I'm not going to go, or anywhere, church too. I'm not going to go to church knowing there's no security and they have metal detectors or I had to fly. That's the worst, when we fly places and you can't carry and then you got to go somewhere that's like a place of worship. I feel uncomfortable going. I choose really not to in some situations because I just don't feel safe.
Oh, gosh, I hate hearing that. And I hope that people take that into consideration. The software is called Alert, Active Law Enforcement Response Technology. And as you heard Andy saying it integrates right into district security systems or these public places, whether it's your temple, whether it's your church, into their security systems. And there's a process. You can nominate an entity, select your school district, talk about your safety needs, and it goes through a process to be approved. And I just think this is so fantastic. I have to say, Andy, you have done so much to raise awareness of these issues that I think it wasn't apathy. I think that we all, myself included, all of us as parents, you don't think that something like that's going to happen at one of the most innocent places ever, at schools and if you're at church, at temple, I mean, for crying out loud. And you've done so much to raise awareness of these issues. And I've told you this before. I think that you have saved lives doing this. And I'm grateful for your advocacy out there. The website is schoolsafetygrant.org. All the parents listening, y'all need to be talking to your schools about this today. You need to be talking to your schools about this. Andy, God bless you, my friend. I hope to see you again soon.